Next mission's briefing screen starts off with USMC Sergeant Paul Jackson, listed KIA. Switching back to the SAS members.
They made me a coward, Captain Price. Al-Assad would never sacrifice himself. There is a safe house in Azerbaijan that Al-Assad has used in the past. I am sending you the coordinates.
Understood, Nikolai. Gaz, assemble the team. We're going to Azerbaijan. Yes, sir. I hear it's lovely this time of the year.
Taking So's perspective, at 2 a.m., they're outside of a gas station. There's a Russian soldier flashing a flashlight towards the squad.
There's Camaros, man. Let's go.
Soap, Gaz, and Price run to meet the soldier. They're all wielding M4s.
Al-Assad is in the village. The ultra-nationalists are protecting him. Perfect. Move out.
Soap, Gaz, Price, some SAS members, and the Russians head up along a hill on the left. It's along a hiking trail.
What the hell's going on up there?
It's the ultra-nationalists. They're killing the villagers.
You're not for long, they're not.
They're in the trees now. They're going up a creek. Again, this hiking trail has a fence along and some street lights. At the top of the hill, there is a building on the right. Looks like a large house. And on the left, there is a church, it looks like. Fire coming from the second-story window of the house. The Allied soldiers take a knee in the woods, start firing back. So it moves up along the right, up the hill. Reaches a wooden fence. Takes cover behind it. Fires a grenade launcher into the second floor. Jumps down. There's a basement entrance into like a cellar. Switches shotgun out as he's creeping through. Heading up the back, there's now, it's into the first floor, the kitchen. Gaz and Price are already there. There's some guns laying on the table. Into the living room. The Allies didn't do a good job of clearing out the house as there's some enemies coming down from upstairs. He takes them out.
Clear. No sign of Al-Assad.
Clears the rest of the first building. Enemy soldier enters and a Russian just obliterates him.
Calling air support on that building.
I turn a corner and shoot Price, who is standing exactly where I left him because I'm amazing at video games. Back in the kitchen now. Soap now has the ability to press right on the D-pad and call in some air support from a helicopter. He's taking fire from a burning building. Price, who's posted up at the door, taking the same fire, is getting shot through the wall, though he takes a second to fix his hat instead of moving. Soap calls the air support on the burning building. On the right, there's a shop without a finished roof. Soap begins to fire hostiles coming from the ground floor of that building and from the attic. And he throws a grenade in the window that Soap was posted at. He throws it back, goes out the back door of the house, heading towards the building on the right with the unfinished roof. Enemy soldier runs up to him, he takes him out quick before seeing the Hellfire missiles hit the burning building. Soap checks back to see Gaz and some SAS members coming up behind him. Pushes up along the right to a destroyed car. Waits till the helicopter takes some of the pressure off. Another grenade comes his way though, forcing him to push up towards the right unfinished building. Getting close to the building, it appears to be some kind of shop. Enters and he gets to clear with a shotgun. There's a bunch of crates on tables, shelves of fruit, crates of fruit. He heads in the back, someone coming down the stairs, goes up to the unfinished rooftop, and posts up there and starts firing at a line of enemies along a fence in front of the burning building to the right. Send some grenade launches their way. Take a couple hits. He's got a great line of sight on them. Takes his time to take them out.
We are ready to attack and are standing by for new orders.
Jumps out top from the unfinished roof. There's a tavern behind that is shooting him. It's up on the hill behind the burning building by a water tower. Called an airstrike on the building that was shooting at him, while the entire line of enemies is back in front of the burning building. pushes towards them as the helicopter starts giving cover fire. Ahead of him is a destroyed helicopter. As enemies are coming by from the destroyed helicopter, there's another house by the destroyed helicopter. Price is seen running across the field up towards it. As a frame of reference, they are up higher than the previous church they were at before. So decides to take a second to run all the way back up to the building that was shooting at them, that tavern, the one further up the hill that the airstrike was called on, and jumps in the back. There is another cellar entrance. Jumps down. The basement has leaky pipes, and half the basement is flooded, about knee deep. Goes up to the first floor, hits an enemy, grabs their grenade, throws it back at them. Got a shotgun. As soon as he sees an enemy, he takes him down. Of course, he sees Gaz. He shoots Gaz as well, because once again, I am amazing at video games. This is a tavern.
5 here. We are ready to attack and are standing by for new orders.
There is fireplace, some tables, some booths. Going up to the second floor, there's an enemy peeking out of a doorway. Soap shoots the door itself, and the enemy falls down dead. It's on the second floor of the tavern now. Seems to be where the owner lives. There's a cot in the kitchen.
Let's check the other buildings.
There's a mounted machine gun on the kitchen window. He hops in and fires at the house where he was taking fire from before. It's a two-story house with a wooden shed on his left. Takes another massive rocket fire, almost dies. Calls a helicopter strike on it. The SAS members are stocking up in the tavern. Soap hides in the bathroom for a second. It's a beautiful shower. As bullets are just flying through the walls here. He decides to go out the back door because it's safer. Never mind, he doesn't. He goes to the front door. Two enemies are charging in. He takes them out. The gunship helicopter is really laying out fire on that building that they were getting hit from with the wooden shed. Shoots a guy in the second floor, goes into the front door. Two guys are waiting by the door. He takes them out with a shotgun, decides to go around towards the garage entrance, goes into its attached garage, takes out two immediately. He reloads, comes in there. Takes out another enemy. Creeping through. He catches an enemy from behind. Puts a shotgun shell in his back. Another one is behind a wall of the kitchen. Just shoots them as well. They didn't see him coming from behind. There's another mounted machine gun in this house. On the first floor. Sees an enemy moving across. They're running downstairs to come after him. He takes him out. Just to be sure, he throws a flashbang up top. Reloads and face checks it. They're all dead. Guys wouldn't lie to me.
2-5 here. We are ready to attack and are standing by for new orders.
Moving outside, it's going back towards the tavern, going up the hill. Takes a bunch of fire, runs into the bushes, dives down. There's an enemy armored vehicle. Luckily, some other SAS members come up, take some of the fire off. So switches out to the helicopter, calls a helicopter in on it.
Stand by for air support.
Goes back inside to the house, takes cover in the kitchen. Yes, the SAS member and Price both take a window and start shooting at some stragglers. Picks off some of the stragglers while we're waiting for the helicopter to come in. Looks out the window and sees the helicopter blow it up. BGR takes a hit. A couple of the missiles from above miss. There we go. Two more Hellfire missiles come into the gunship and they take it out. Pushing back up towards the tavern, there's a water tower. It's a little raised on a cement platform, and a stone wall reinforcing, I guess, the hill. They're pushing up, going up a path adjacent to the radio tower. Instead, he goes back along the tavern, further down to the end of the street, and comes up the long way. Less enemies that way. Takes cover behind a car as he sees enemies trying to reposition to Soap flanking them. There is a house on the right with a foyer. Enemies are seen running down the street towards by the water tower. Soap shoots a couple that are crossing the street as he pushes up into the house with the foyer. Switches to a shotgun. Soap enters the foyer and there's a bunch of enemies over in the kitchen and behind a flipped over refrigerator. Fighting can be heard in the next room, blasting through the guy in the hallway. Two enemies looking the other way, hits them both with one shot. And shoots Gaz because once again, I am amazing at video games. I don't know why he was in that building anyway. He was looking the wrong way from the enemies, but okay. Soap continues on into an open field where there's some hay bales. There's two fences, one wooden fence and then a sheet metal fence. Hops over the wooden fence, goes to the sheet metal fence. And enemies are at a barn here where Al-Assad is located. Calls a helicopter to come strafe their firing line. The SAS and other allied forces now catch up to Soap, and they have firing line along this sheet metal fence. And fire can be seen coming from both the barn and the little shed on the right. Helicopter comes in with the cover of the helicopter, goes around. There's some bushes blocking a little drainage way. Runs through the drainage way. Under the cover of the bushes, reaches another wooden shed on the left. Goes upstairs on the second floor of the, I should say, garage. Takes an enemy out that was waiting for him. Looks outside. Fires at the shed that they were shooting from. There's an outdoor workshop in front of the shed.
We have to refuel and rearm. We will not be available for some time.
Goes back downstairs. The squad starts stacking up on the barn, as that's the target location where Al-Assad is.
Remember, we want Al-Assad alive. He's no good to us dead.
Price throws a flashbang. Enters. Instantly headshots two enemies. Grabs Al-Assad and punches the crap out of him.
Why'd you do it? Where did you get the bomb? Who then?
Screen is black.
Who? Give me a name. A name. I want his name.
Price is beating Al-Assad in a chair. Punches him in the stomach. Starts choking him with a rope. Gaz answers the phone.
Sir, it's his cell phone.
Price lets him go and catches the phone. Gaz throws at him. Takes out his pistol, shoots Al-Assad in the head.
Who was that, sir?
Zakhaev. Imran Zakhaev.
Face of Black's the next briefing screen opens up. The screen pans from SAS Soap Tavish to Captain Price 15 years ago in Pripyat in the Ukraine. Throughout this briefing, they show old pictures of Chernobyl.
I was just a lieutenant back then, doing some wet work. Chernobyl, Christmas for the bad guys. Even a decade later, a lot of them still used it to get their hands on nuclear material. A lot of them, including one, Imran Zakhaev. Of course, we couldn't just let that happen. Cash for spent fuel rods. That's one hell of a recipe for destruction. It was the first time our government had authorized an assassination order since the Second World War. I was under the command of Captain Macmillan.
Screen says 15 years ago. The picture of Imran Zakayev is the bald man with the gray beard and the leather jacket from before. This time he has 2 arms. We take control of Price as he's following Macmillan in a ghillie suit. They both wear ghillie suits that exactly match the ground.
Too much radiation. We'll have to go around.
Both are using camouflage suppressed M21 rifles.
Follow me and keep low.
They get up and run towards the shed. This guy is very gray.
Careful. There's pockets of radiation all over this area. If you absorb too much, you're a dead man.
Everything is very brown and dark.
Stand by.
Macmillan stops by a shed. Creeps through.
Contact. Enemy patrol dead ahead. Stay low and move slowly. Will be impossible to spot in our ghillie suits.
2 soldiers walking about 5 meters across. They are walking by a house.
Take one out when the other's not face down. Good night. Move.
Price headshots the one on the right while Macmillan takes the one on the left. They run up towards the house. There's like a stable on the right side of it, and they're moving towards the left.
Hold up. There's more cover if we go around.
Going from the stable part to adjacent to the wall of the house. Looking inside the window, you can see some troops.
4 tangos inside. Don't even think about it.
Circling around the house.
Wait there. Tango by the car.
There's one patrol just walking aimlessly by a car.
Quietly, or just let him pass. Okay. Go.
Price hits him in the back of the head with a headshot.
Move up.
They run to the car. Taking cover behind this destroyed car, they look back to see that they aren't noticed. They continue on towards a church. They hop a little fence as there is a radiation sign, which is the level's way of telling you the boundaries of the map. There's some movement in the church or the tower. Church.
Don't move. We've got a lookout in the church tower and the patrol coming from the north. Let's move up for a better view.
Price had a good shot on him, but listens to Macmillan. Begins to creep up.
Do you have a shot on the lookout?
Aims at the lookout. Holds his breath and takes him out.
Beautiful. Target approaching from the north. Take him out quietly, or just let him pass. Your
Price
call.
lines up a headshot.
Tango down. Go.
He had no idea. The 2 get up and run towards the church. There's an entrance on the left.
Forward area clear.
Mac opens the door with one hand and raises his rifle with the other. They enter. It's a destroyed church. There's some grass overtaking the church, as well as all the pews pushed to the side. It's a destroyed out church.
Coast is clear.
See the paint peeling off the walls. Exiting out the back, there's an unkept cemetery. The grass is high.
You hear that?
They run to the concrete half-wall fence.
Enemy helicopter. Get down.
Crouching in the bushes, helicopter can be seen passing over by.
Stay in the shadows. Let's go.
Helicopter's no longer in sight, so they get up. There's a large open field. Again, everything is just gray and brown and dark. They jump over a rusty pipeline.
Get down now.
They get down as an enemy armored vehicle is seen in the distance. They're crawling forward now. Hidden in tall grass.
Easy, lad. There's too many of them. Let them go. Keep a low profile and hold your fire.
As the enemy patrol gets closer, you can see it's more than one armored
Try
vehicle.
to anticipate their paths. If you have to maneuver, do it slow and steady. No quick movements.
Price shimmies to the left a little bit as you can see at least 4 or 5 enemies walking right by him. He has to turn back to the right. Enemy is maybe 2-3 feet in front of him, but again, they're so well hidden under the tall grass. An enemy armored vehicle's coming. He shimmies to the left as a pillar passes by and just misses the tank treads. 5 more visible and 2 more tanks. Doesn't move besides tracking the soldiers. They walk right past him.
Okay, let's move. Nice and slow.
Mac and Price emerged from the tall grass. You could actually see where Mac was standing now. You couldn't see him at all before from the tall grass. They look back to make sure that they're not caught. None of the soldiers notice. They move forward. They're approaching what looks to be an old vehicle depot. There's a bunch of vehicles that are just parked.
Follow me.
At least 5
Looks
tanks.
like they've already eliminated the men they couldn't buy out. Let's move up for a better view.
There's 2 soldiers that are throwing bodies into a lake, and another 2.
Taking them out without alerting the rest isn't going to be easy. But then again, neither is sneaking past them. Your call.
Price and Mac are hiding behind some kind of construction vehicle. He aims at the patrol on the left. There's 2 of them. Hits the guy in the back first in the head, and another guy in the front in the chest.
Target eliminated. Top them. Don't fire on the 2 by the lorry. We'll have to take them out at the same time. Wait for me to get into position. Hold your fire. I'm moving.
As Macmillan moves to the left, even though he has a perfectly good shot right here, Price keeps an eye on the 2. They're just pouring more bodies into the lake. One's wearing a beret, the other's wearing a balaclava. Price moves past 2 destroyed VTRs to meet up with Macmillan.
In position. Good night. Move up.
He takes out the one in the beret in the neck. Now they're moving towards a bunch of storage containers. In the back, you can see some buildings in the far distance. Taking cover of the first storage container. Mac tells you to wait.
Stay in the shadows.
He goes around the corner and sees an enemy.
Stay back. Stay low. He's mine.
Mac creeps up behind the enemy soldier.
Oi, Susie.
Done. Let's go.
Mac butt-stocks him in the face when he turns around. They're entering this sort of maze of storage units.
Hold up. Wait here.
There's a bunch of destroyed cars in the midst, too.
Forward area clear. Go.
Bunch of just thrown away mattresses on the side, a shopping cart.
Stay hidden. Move up.
Continuing to creep through.
This way. Let's go.
Helicopter flies by as dust kicks up. Looks like there's sort of a junkyard. There's a bunch of cars that are destroyed on top of each other. Going through a storage unit, Mac opens up to see a large enemy force.
That's a bloody convention out there. Get ready to move on my signal. Stay right behind me. Hold. Okay. Go.
Mac opens up the gate and starts sprinting towards a car. There's enemies all around within maybe 10 feet of the squad. They're going car to car.
Let's go.
Crawling under a truck. Price is following Macmillan within inches.
There's a truck coming. We'll use it as cover. Keep moving.
Enemies on both sides of the truck. Another truck comes just exactly to the end of this other line of trucks, so they can continue crawling through.
Just wait here a moment. When they leave, crawl out and stay low.
A jeep stops a couple feet away from the truck. Not enough to crawl under, as they were.
Don't do anything stupid.
A group of soldiers come out, and they are walking by the side of the truck now.
Stand by. Stand by.
The last one passes. Mac and Price crawl off the back of the truck they were under. Get up.
Ready? Go.
Take cover behind the jeep before running into the city outskirts.
Hold fast. No one saw us. Let us keep moving. This way. Don't move. Sniper. Fire escape. 4th floor. Dead ahead. Take him out, or he'll give away our position.
Price and Mac stop at a cement wall where they are the city outskirts.
Beautiful. Move out.
Price headshots the unsuspecting soldier on the fire escape. They're now walking through a destroyed playground. Going up the fire escape now to the 1st floor of some kind of apartment building.
Area clear.
Everything in this entire town is absolutely destroyed. The only things that are intact are some cars.
Don't let your guard down. We're not there yet.
But all the buildings are overgrown.
Stop.
They're going from apartment building to apartment building now.
Leave it alone. It's a wild dog.
There's a dog in the middle of a courtyard eating something. Can't tell what from here.
Pooch doesn't look too friendly. Keep your distance. No need to attract unnecessary attention.
It sniffs in the air. Noticing Price and Mac, it turns around and starts growling. You can see it's eating a soldier, one of the ultranationalists.
Clear right. Go.
Once you pass by and go inside the building, it goes back to eating. If you shoot it, actually, if you're a monster and shoot it,
Forward area clear.
a pack of dogs will actually come and attack you. They're entering a big atrium of some sort. I believe this building is a school, or some kind of college. They're on the 2nd floor, and there's a bunch of bookshelves and
Look at this place. 50,000 people used to live in the city. Now it's a ghost town. Never seen anything like it.
on the right side there's a big open
Move.
wall of windows. Books and papers are all strewn about on the floor. Helicopter flies by the window wall as they are heading down on the 1st floor now. When the helicopter flies by, all the papers and books
This way.
fly up.
Let's go.
Now they're outside and looks like the courtyard of this school. Heading along the left, there's a little bit of a overpass into the woods. Here they see their target, the hotel.
There's the hotel. We should be able to observe the exchange from the top floor up there. Let's move.
The next briefing screen is a time lapse showing the Ferris wheel and the clouds and the hotel that they're waiting at. Time lapse is 2 days till 12 p.m. where you zoom into a sniper nest of Mac as a spotter and Price on a sniper rifle. In front of him is a picture of Imran Zakhaev as a target as a reference.
The meeting is underway. Enemy transport sighted entering the target area.
Price takes one last look at the Imran Zakhaev picture and gets on the M82 50 caliber sniper rifle. They're so far away that you can't even see the target area without the scope.
One's getting a bit choppy. You can compensate for it, or you can wait it out. But he might leave before it dies down. That's your call. Remember what I taught you. Keep in mind variable humidity and wind speed along the bullet's flight path. At this distance, you'll also have to take the Coriolis effect into account.
There's an arms deal going on about 900 meters away. It says it'll take about a second for a bolt to reach him.
I think I see him. Wait for my mark.
Zakhaev puts a briefcase full of gold bars on a table.
I have a positive ID on Imran Zakhaev.
A soldier inspects the bars.
Steady. Keep an eye on that flag. Watch for any change in wind speed and direction.
There's guns all over folded tables. Soldiers are passing the gold bars back to each other. Imran's pacing back and forth. A helicopter blocks your sight.
Where did he come from? Patience, laddie, wait for a clear shot.
Price aims at one of the pilots for a second before the helicopter pulls off. Price realigns his sight with Zakhaev. Zakhaev seems to be pointing and yelling. He throws his hands up in the air angrily. As soon as the flag stops moving, Price takes a shot.
Target down. I think you blew off his arm. Shock and blood loss will take care of the rest.
Enemies scurry about.
Shut that onto us. Take out that helicopter. You'll buy us some time.
Price headshots the pilot.
Let's go. They'll be searching for us.
Helicopter spirals out of control. He puts the sniper down as they run the other side of the building. Mac hits a chair and almost trips on it as they're running to rappel out the back.
We'll have to take a shortcut. Follow my lead.
As they rappel down, a helicopter obliterates the top floor of the hotel that they were on. You see fire and glass all spewing out of the top. They begin to run through the city.
Lieutenant Price, follow me. Delta 2-4, this is Alpha 6. We have been compromised. I repeat, we have been compromised. Now heading to extraction point 4.
Alpha 6, Big Bird is en route. ETA 20 minutes. Don't be late. We're stretching our fuel as it is. Out.
A huge squad is just seen crossing the street as Mac and Price start pushing through. Car is on fire. Enemies are swarming all around by a bus, a destroyed building, a destroyed vehicle. Helicopters are seen repelling enemies. Their response time is really incredible. Taking cover behind a car.
Tango down.
Price snipes a couple with M21. You see
Lose him in that apartment. Come on.
Mac blowing a few away with his USP-45. They're entering a apartment building now. Looking back, you can see the soldiers are going to investigate the hotel. Entering through the apartment building now, first floor. Mac opens up a door. Jumping through a building. There's a fence where a rabid dog is coming and barking at you. Mac and Price wait till the dog comes. Fortunately, they have to take the dog out. Going room to room.
Stand by.
See patrol passing by.
Quick, plant a claymore by the door up ahead.
They saw it through the window. They've run ahead, and Price puts a claymore by the door. Takes his pistol back out. Claymore gets a couple. He switches his pistol for a G3 submachine gun.
Get behind us.
They're in an apartment
Tango down.
block, but there is a playground in between. And that's why they're standing by one of those tilt-a-whirls. Helicopter scene. Both Price and Mac are shooting at the pilot.
Snipe the bastard! Right, shoot the helicopter! We'll take it down together!
It's starting to crash now. Mac turns around slowly. Explosion hits nearby. He falls down. Helicopter's crashing, and the blade lands right next to Macmillan's head, but he's okay.
My leg's all messed up. I can't move. Sorry, mate. You're gonna have to carry me. If we run into trouble, you'll have to find a good spot to put me down so I can cover you.
Price fireman carries
The
Macmillan.
extraction point is to the southwest. We can still make it if we hurry. Tango's closing fast. Put me in a good spot to cover you.
Enemies coming down a hallway. Price yeets him on the ground and then takes out his G3 and takes him out. Picking him back up, he starts to run, taking a few hits. Price turns a corner down the alleyway, drops Mac in a corner, pulls his gun back out. Enemies hiding behind a car, takes him out. Picks Mac back up. There's a destroyed car, some burning barrels. About 16 minutes remaining. He sees enemy patrol run by, they don't see him. Price goes into a bush. Circles around the right. There's an enemy right there. His stealth was meaningless. He throws Mac in a bush. Takes out the enemy patrol. And you actually can't see Mac at all in this bush. He's so well camouflaged. Picks him back up though. Runs through another apartment building. Shots are going off all around him. You can see the little ricochet and the dust pop up. There's a destroyed ramp up to the second floor of the apartment building. In the stairwell of the apartment building. The dog's right there in front of him. He puts Macmillan down. Price gets ready to fight. Dog backs off a little bit. Price goes into the next room. Sees the dog running. Sees his handler. Dog attacks. Takes him out with hip fire. Sorry, Pooch. Mac takes the other one out.
Make sure these rooms are clear first.
Moving forward. Runs downstairs. Another destroyed ramp. There is a rec center up ahead.
The extraction point is on the other side of that building.
And just through the blown out entrance. All the windows are broken, the tiling's falling apart. In the shower room, there's a big open, like Olympic-sized pool that's all drained out. Crossing around it. There's the Ferris wheel up ahead, and a bumper cars. This is the extraction point up ahead. There's some enemies there. He throws Macmillan down. Takes the two hiding out behind a car. It's clear. It goes back for Mac.
Alpha 6, this is Big Bird, standing by for your signal, over. Our helicopter is standing by to safe distance. Put me down behind the Ferris wheel where I can provide sniper support.
Price puts him down along the tree line up ahead. There's a little hill.
This will be fine. Take the rest of my claymores. Now's the time to use them. The enemy is bound to enter this area, so find a good sniping position. I'll signal the helicopter in 30 seconds.
Price puts a bunch of C4 around some cars, anticipating that that's where the enemy will take cover. Puts a bunch of claymores in between openings of fences, around corners, out in the fields, by cover. He has 8 of them. Just puts them all around. You then post up in a high mound of dirt.
Find a good spot to snipe from and go prone. Alright lad, I've activated the beacon. Good luck.
At this part,
Alpha 6, we have a fix on your position. Hang tight. Big Bird out.
on the bottom, you can see the compass. There is about 8,500 meters left
Down goes in sight. Let them get closer.
for the helicopter to reach the extraction point. See a large line of foes coming.
Stand by
At
to
least 20.
engage. Open fire.
Takes out 2 with 1 shot. Enemies lay prone. Now, because we didn't shoot the dog at the beginning, there's actually a pack of wild dogs that's going to attack the enemies. Try and help the pooches out a little bit by taking out some of the soldiers.
Got one!
These guys are killing innocent dogs, so they deserve to get shot.
Tango down.
They're coming through an open courtyard, so it makes it a little easy pickings for them. Now they're carrying RPGs. They're not getting close enough, though, to be able to use it. Claymore on the right side goes off, means they're getting a little closer. Price moves behind the ticket booth. And another. Takes cover behind one of the Ferris wheel carts as enemies can be seen rappelling down from the helicopter. He shoots them off the rope as they're dropping in.
Target neutralized.
2 more helicopters are seen rappelling enemies down. He switches out to his C4 and detonates them. Takes his M21 run back out. Starts firing back.
Big Bird, we are heavily outnumbered. Where are you?
He's fighting the enemies on the right.
Copy that, Alpha. We'll be there ASAP. Hold tight.
Enemies continue to pour in.
He's down.
Max taking out guys on the left side. Prices hold down the right. You can see Max just blew a guy's head off. Taking shots from behind. Somehow somebody snuck behind him. He fires from the hip even though it's an M21. That's how desperate it was. Shaken up. Price moves over to the bumper car section now.
Target neutralized.
Try and make sure people don't sneak behind him again. Enemies are getting real close by the line of cars now.
Got one.
Every time Price looks over to the left, you can see Mac taking out some enemies. Mac's taking some fire now. Price is trying to lighten his load a bit from the right side. Having some bullets down range.
Got him.
The chopper is about 2,600 meters away now. Switches back to his M21.
Target neutralized.
They're pushing the enemies back a little bit. Captured this on recruit difficulty, but on veteran difficulty, this is one of the hardest missions in all of Call of Duty, in my opinion. Enemy throws a grenade, he catches it and throws it back. Hits the 2 enemies. Transport helicopter touches down as 4 soldiers come out to cover Price and Mac.
Alpha team, this is Big Bird. Get your ass out forward, over. Target neutralized.
They're covering Price as he's running up to go grab Mac. Taking some fire. They're not doing a good job of covering him. Enemies are on the other side of the ticket booth of the Ferris wheel. They're real close to Mac. He picks up Mac, starts running towards the helicopter.
We're at bingo fuel. You got 30 seconds.
Goes around inside, places Mac down on the helicopter. The soldiers start fighting their way backwards into the helicopter. Just shooting the enemies as they're taking off. They're flying away now as the Ferris wheel fades in the distance. New briefing screen back to the SAS squad in present day.
ETA on the chopper's at least half an hour, Captain Price.
No good. Two corpses for 10 minutes by then. Every ultra-nationalist psycho in Zakhaev's pocket is about to show up on our doorstep, coming to claim all Assad.
Or what's left of them.
Right. We'll set charges along phase line Alpha on the southern hill. And more along phase line Bravo. We'll delay them all the way back to the top and hold our ground at the extraction point in the fields around the farm. Any questions?
Let's do this.
Zooming into Soph's perspective. Present day, 8 hours after Al-Assad's death. An enemy speaking over loudspeaker.
Drop your weapons and surrender at once. You will not be harmed if you surrender.
At the start of the mission, Soap and squad are running past the downed helicopter to the top of the hiking trail by the church in the...
Ignore that load of bollocks. Their counterattack is imminent. Spread out and cover the southern approach. Sir, they're slowly coming up the hill. Just say when.
They all lay down prone along a fence line on the other side of the church, facing the hill as enemies can be seen advancing up slowly. Soap has a light machine gun, Gaz has a G36, and looks like Price has an M4.
Do it. Kaboom.
Open fire!
Nice shot, mate.
After detonating some explosions along the hiking trail, the squad of SAS members just rain hell on the enemies below. Keep firing into the tree line, some firings coming back. They don't really have a good angle on them though because the squad is laying at the crest of a hill. Some rockets whiz by.
Squad, hold your ground. They think we're a larger force than we really are. Copy.
Enemies are just getting picked off as they come up the hill. They don't have much cover besides some skinny trees. Soap reloads. More rockets are coming from further down. One hit the fence that Soap was hiding behind. Can't really see the enemies now, except for a few that are ahead of the smoke line. So switches to his M21. On his way to the helicopter, Soap drops a few claymores on the way. Back up the hill to the downed helicopter. There's a minigun that is pointing towards the position that they just fell back from. He holds L2 down to spool up the minigun. The minigun's spinning. Enemies can be seen coming through the smoke screen. Start shooting bullets down range. Enemies are coming around the church now. Minigun just decimates them.
We've got a problem here! Heads up! Bloody hell! There's a lot of helis in it! So, fall back to the cover and man the detonate.
6 helicopters come and try to deploy troops as the minigun takes them all out.
Get off the minigun! We're falling back!
Soap lets one spray loose.
We're falling back to the next phase line! Let's go! Let's go! You've got to get left behind! So, use the detonators! There's 4 of them in the tavern! Move!
Soap goes into the tavern. Grabs a detonator. Lets off one fire line. Snipes the 3 that he missed. Loads, he goes back into the dwelling of the tavern. Detonates another line of C4 by the helicopter. Gets a bunch of enemies. Enemies are coming up the building by the unfinished roof. Detonates another round of C4. Mops him up with the M21. One more line by the formerly burning building. Detonates that too.
Bloody hell, I'm hit! Mac's in trouble! So, get to the barn at the northern end of the village and stop those tanks! Use the javelin in the barn! Fall back to the farm at the top of the hill! Let's go! Now!
Running back past the house with the foyer. Into the open field.
So, the javelin's in the barn! Move! Move!
Running up the drainage ditch right now. Sprints across the field to the wooden fence of the barn. Entering the barn where they killed Al-Assad. Switches his M249 saw for the javelin. Aims through and sees a tank approaching. Locks on, fires. Missile shoots up into the air directly. The tank cuts down an SAS member running through the field as just moments before the rocket hits it. Another tank, lock on. The shell from the tank just missed Soap's head. That's another rocket through. Switches back to the M21, take out some enemies. Now they're getting up to the wooden fence and the sheet metal fence where the squad was fighting from in the last mission. RPG is taking aim at Soap. Soap headshots him. The rocket goes way up in the air. 2 more tanks on the right side. Soap sends a javelin to the right one. Now it locks on and sends it to another one. Enemies are getting to the wooden fence along the border of the barn. Soap runs back in and switches out his javelin back for his M249 saw. Not having much ammo, he switches the saw for the RPD.
Bravo 6, this is Falcon 1 standing by to provide close air support, over.
Pressing down on the D-pad now gives some air support.
Bravo 6, this is Griffin 2-7. We've just crossed into Azerbaijani airspace. ETA is 4 minutes. Be ready for pickup. Roger that, we're coming in hot. Bravo 6, the LZ is too hot. We cannot land at the farm. I repeat, we cannot land at the farm. Picking up stand sites all over this mountain. Bravo 6, we're getting a lot of enemy radar signatures. Try to land closer to the bottom of the hill to avoid a lock-on, over. Oh, these guys are taking a piss! We've just busted our asses to get to this LZ, and now they want us to go all the way back down! Forget it, guys! We've got to get to the new LZ at the bottom of the hill, now! So, take point, go!
Soap calls during the dialogue a airstrike on the sheet metal fence line of enemies as a carpet bomb just obliterates all of them. Running through another open field on the right, he's got to head up the drainage pipe, the drainage way. Another enemy squad is coming through.
Stand by for airstrike.
Calls an airstrike on him. Danger close, but it takes out the squad. As soon as the explosion stops, Soap runs up the drainage. Their new LZ is actually the gas station where they started the mission of the last time they were here. Soap crawls through a drainage pipe, reloads his RPD, continues sprinting down, taking rocket fire. Crossing the street by the water tower, he just sprays and prays as he runs down into the tavern.
6 feet 5, we are almost there, but we're low on fuel. You guys have 3 minutes before we have to leave without you.
Goes back downstairs through the tavern.
Left behind. We've got to get to the landing zone.
Shoots back to enemies that are on the concrete reinforcement of the hill in front of the water tower. Runs back down. He's now on the road. Road's blocked. Has to go through the hiking trail. Sees the gas station. Enemies are along the hiking trail. Takes a second behind a tree and starts shooting at him. Rocket comes, he jumps to the left. Jumps down. He's at the gas station now. Helicopter can be seen landing. Loading his RPD. As the helicopter touches down, Soap turns around and calls one airstrike in and along the hiking trail, just for good measure.
Roger that, we're coming in hot.
A squad comes out, led by Griggs. Soap hops on the helicopter as the rest of the squad comes in. Griggs and his squad are shooting at the enemies. Griggs taps his fellow soldier, and they get back on the helicopter.
Alright, we're all aboard! Go! Go!
Helicopter's taking off.
Faceplate, this is Griffin 2-7. We got him and we're coming home. Out.
Taking some small arms fire from the tree line. Mission briefing screen. Instead of saying SAS or USMC, says SAS USMC Joint Operation.
Well, we got that bastard.
Still, he's not the one responsible for killing your Marines. Sorry, mate.
Imran's a curve, huh? Man's a ghost. Intel says he's gone underground.
Well, I got a plan to find him.
I'm listening. Daddy's boy.
Zakhaev's son, commander of the ultra-nationalist forces in the field. Rotten apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The loyalist Kamarov has got a location on the kid.
And the little punk'll know how to find Zakhaev.
The sins of our fathers.
Ain't it a bitch?
Zakhaev's son is wearing a blue tracksuit. That is the man who was in the passenger seat of the car in the beginning with the assassination of Alphalani.
This is the best way in. The vehicle checkpoint is directly ahead. Not bad, Kamarov. This'll do nicely. Vulture 1-6, we're in position. Bravo 6, this is Vulture 1-6. Radio jammers are active. You're cleared to engage the guard station. Out.
Starting the mission in a junkyard. Soap is slowly advancing with the squad. He's got an M1911 and an R700 sniper rifle. It's bolt action. There's a watchtower up ahead by a gas station. 2 enemies are in it.
So, get on that dumpster and prepare to take out the guards in the tower on my mark. The rest of you follow me.
The Allied Marines, Russians, and SAS members start circling around preparing for an ambush. They're going in a single file around some buses. Soap is aiming at the 2 in the watchtower.
Soap, take them out now.
Headshot.
Move!
As soon as he headshots one, the other's ducking down. Shoots the second one through the wood. Reloads 2 bullets, hops up on the dumpster. Can't see him from here. He starts to push up to meet up with the rest of the squad. There's a diner up ahead with an enemy on the rooftop. He takes a headshot from Soap. So pushes up slowly with his sniper rifle, just taking out the enemies that are focused on other. Looks like one enemy remains in the diner. Briggs is doing some suppression fire. Soap takes a shot, but he misses as the enemy runs down. Soap takes out his pistol and just decides to run in there. Hits him in the stomach. The guy still ducks down again. Squad is ready to insert, but Soap just runs in and knifes him. He's wearing a gas mask.
Area secure.
Everyone gathers in the middle of the road between the diner and the gas station.
All right, let's get this place sorted out. Change into the enemy uniforms and douse the fires. Kamarov, I need your men on the ground if the drivers start asking questions. Just keep them busy until we locate Zakhaev's son. We don't have much time, so get to it.
Screen fades to black. Two hours later. Soap and Griggs are on the watchtower.
Man, you look like a clown in that outfit. Good thing you're up here, because you look nothing like a Russian.
Head forces are seen laying prone on top of the gas station awning.
Bravo 6, this is Vulture 1-6. We're tracking an enemy convoy headed your way. I count 6 vehicles in the convoy, over.
Roger that. Nobody fires a shot until I give the order.
A Russian soldier is waiting by the road. The enemy convoy is coming. There's 2 troop transport trucks, a jeep, and an armored vehicle. Another troop truck and another armored vehicle. Turn around the bend now.
Wanker. Sir, I have a visual on the target in the 3rd vehicle, and I'm walking by it right now.
Copy that. All teams stand by. The target is in the jeep in front of the BMP. We need to take him alive, so watch your fire. Stand by. Stand by. Smoke him.
Soap unleashes his RPD into the canopy of the troop transport. One of the SAS members on top of the gas station awning goes down. They're lighting up everybody down there. Soap throws a flashbang at the jeep. RPGs start taking out the enemy forces. Helicopter above. Watchtower falls down as Soap gets his bearings. He looks up to see Zakhaev's son running out of the jeep, taking some fire. The jeep blows up, knocks him to his feet. He sees you, scowls, and runs. Soap gets up and gives chase.
The target is making a run for it. So, take Griggs and chase him down. We'll handle the enemy reinforcements and catch up. Go, go!
Running through the junkyard, a Black Hawk.
Bravo team, this is Vulture 1-6. I'm tracking the target. Damn, this guy moves fast. Okay, he's in the junkyard to the northwest. Get his ass. Move. Okay, the target is moving north. He's headed towards the outskirts of the city.
Running straight towards a few houses into a city.
Be advised, this area is crawling with hostile forces, over.
Helicopters flying over as they're entering the main street. Zakhaev's son is seen taking cover behind some cars as enemy forces are shooting back. There's some cinder blocks in the road. Griggs caught up to Soap. Soap reloads his few guns. Griggs is using a silence M4. Soap goes through the house instead of pushing up the street. Pops out the front door. Takes out 2 enemy forces.
Check your fire, check your fire. We gotta take this guy alive.
Soap just hip fires and sprays and prays as he runs up ahead.
The target is moving again. There's a side alley to the left that might let you cut him off.
Gives the allies an opening to move up. An allied Russian gets knocked down by an attack dog, but the enemy attack dog gets taken out by the allied forces. Soap is running through some back alleys.
Hostiles on the other side of that iron fence.
Enemies taken cover by car.
Up on your right flank.
2 enemies come up by the right flank. Soap takes out the 2 flanking guys by a car, runs around the alley they can. Taking a while to reload his MP his RPD, he switches for an MP5, which reloads much quicker.
Hostiles on the second floor to your right.
Sneaks behind an enemy and knifes him in the back. Goes up to the second floor. Takes out 2 enemies.
Moving on the rooftops.
One with a knife, one with the MP5. Takes his G36 out. Takes another enemy and continues on.
One guy behind the overturned dumpster.
Enemy by the dumpster, copy!
Enemies coming your way.
So bum rushes the guy in the dumpster.
Two tangos. Watch for the green car around the corner.
So throws a flash. Takes the enemies by the green car out.
Yeah, all clear. Hostiles moving across the parking lot towards the 5-story building.
Vulture 1-6, we are taking heavy fire from a fortified position on the 5th floor.
Roger that. First one's free. Stand by.
The helicopter comes and absolutely obliterates the 5th floor. You see the building just chip away.
Okay, all targets neutralized. You're good to go. Bravo team, do you have a visual on the target? Over. Affirmative. Target spotted entering 5-story building.
Enters the building into the stairwell. On the 1st floor. Bunch of
Target is on
squared
the
rooms.
northeast part of the building, 2nd floor.
Gets clipped pretty bad. Hides against the wall. Throws a flashbang. Hits an enemy in the face with a flashbang. Oh, a frag. He explodes. Double taps the survivor. Clean sweep sprays 3 enemies in the next room. Double tap. Every room is in ruin.
Target on your left, 1 floor above. There's a staircase in the north corner.
The ceiling is destroyed. You can see into the next floor. Pushing through, he's in what's left of a kitchen. Goes up the stairwell.
Target has moved deeper into the building. Hold on, I got these guys.
Taking fire from an above floor because of the state of the building. The next 2 floors are barely even standing. Helicopter takes that enemy out that was in some rubble.
Okay, all targets neutralized. You're good to go.
Pushes up the rubble, climbs a ramp to another dwelling.
Alright, moving on the roof. Stand by.
And another
Yep,
kitchen.
positive ID. Target is on the roof.
Up
He's
the
all
stairwell.
yours.
Other soldiers are pushing up already. Following the Russians up the stairwell to the roof. All the allies are pointing, surrendering Zakayev's son.
No, we can't risk it. Hold your fire. Take his weapon and restrain him.
Walking up to the man.
Grumpy! No!
He puts a gun to his head. He shoots himself.
Shit, kid's got some issues.
Faceplate, this is Bravo 6. Zakayev's son is dead. They're coming home.
Bloody hell. His son was our only lead, sir.
Forget it. I know the man. He won't let this go unanswered. Let's go.